Clients, they can smell your hesitation before you even reveal the price tag of your coaching offer. The other morning, my son, he's 17 years old. He's senior in high school, and he walked into my room the other morning, and I'm telling you, I felt like I was going to suffocate. Okay. He walked into my room, and before he even said a word, I can smell him. And he thought he was doing the right thing by adding more cologne, right? He thought that it was better to add more. And in actuality, it really was just suffocating me. And that's the same thing you're doing to your clients. You feel like adding more bonuses, adding more modules, adding more to-dos, more homework is going to actually make the offer better, but really it's just suffocating them. And not only is it suffocating your clients, it's also suffocating yourself because you're adding on all these things, all these added features and bonuses and calls and access to you. When you show up to market this offer, when you show up to sell, you're very hesitant because you're thinking, oh, in the back of your mind, and really even subconsciously, you're like, consciously you want to make the sale, but subconsciously you're like, I don't want to deliver on this. Like, I don't want the pressure of having to show up as much as I've put out there. And so in this live stream, in this episode of the Daily Dose, I'm going to be breaking down for you the real reason clients aren't buying your coaching. I'm going to really dive deep. All right. And so the Daily Dose is with yours truly, and it's a divine overflow of spirit-led empowerment, and it's a daily episode of where I just pour into you whatever the Lord pours into me, and you just get the overflow of that. You get the overflow of what the Lord has poured into me, and it's to really help to empower, equip you, and to educate you, and really inspire you to move forth in your entrepreneurial journey. And so for those of you who aren't familiar with me, my name is Janel Ranée, and I help you to transition into coaching full-time without chasing clients, without self-sabotaging, and without having to sacrifice time with your family, with your loved ones. And so we're going to really dive in here. I'm super excited to get started. Before we jump in, I want to ask you, do you love delivering your coaching offer? Is it something that you're absolutely in love with? Because if you don't love it, you're subconsciously going to be repelling the same people you're trying to attract. Just like my son, we drive to school every morning. He's learning to drive, but he doesn't have his license just yet. He has to wait until he's 18 in Florida. I don't know, whatever. So we drive together in the mornings, and I'm telling you, I had to wind the windows down. It was so overwhelming, so overbearing. I literally was suffocating. And so I don't want your clients or yourself to feel the same way. And so just for you to really sit and do the inner work, this is a journal prompt for you. Do you really love it? Do you love delivering your coaching offer? Because your clients can actually tell. They can tell. And so the problem is you've overstuffed your offer, and what you really want is you want your offers to be clear. Okay. Your offers should be clear. And for you to actually have this clear offer, I'm going to go through an acronym, CLEAR, and the C is conviction, not clutter. All right. Conviction, not clutter. Belief is what attracts, not piling on. And so you might think, oh yeah, the more, just like my son, the more I add on, the better. So you keep adding modules, you keep adding bonus calls, you're secretly dreading delivering it all. So your energy feels forced and your client senses it. And so they pull back instead of leaning in. They're not leaning into the offer. You're not pulling them in. You're actually repelling them. Because subconsciously it's like they can feel your energy, and they know like something's off. They can't always put their finger on it, but something is off. And so this is why inside of the Business by Belief Accelerator, I help my clients, like, you're going to be able to build a signature framework. And a signature framework is like a 3 to 5 step framework where we're going to really pull from your story, pull from your years of expertise, pull from your systems, your strategies, and really create a signature framework that they cannot get anywhere else, because it's your story. It's unique to you. And we're going to compile that and put that inside of a premium offer that you're proud of. So you sell with conviction, with clarity, and with confidence, because you know this is something that you've actually lived, something that you've experienced. And so now you show up with such a level of conviction when you're marketing. And this is what's going to drive sales in your business, because people can feel your conviction. Okay. Conviction, not clutter. When you believe in what you have to offer, your clients will believe as well. Okay. And so that is the C. All right. To get your offer clear. So the L is less is more. All right. Less is more. Simplicity sells stronger than stuffing or overstuffing your offer. When you can simplify the process, premium clients, they don't want a bunch of to-dos. They are already busy going at life, excelling, growing, and they don't want added stress. They don't want added baggage. Give them what they need to get to the transformation they want. Do not overstuff your offers. Okay. Simplicity scales, complexity fails. Less is more. So you're like pitching your program. And when you talk about your program, it's like you yourself, you're even exhausted speaking about your program, because the way you're speaking about it, you're listing out like 12 features, and it's very overwhelming for your audience. It's very overwhelming to the prospect or the client that you're wanting to serve. It's like you're listing out all of the things, all of the added features. And what you're doing is, instead of selling the destination, you're selling, instead of selling, Jamaica, you're selling the actual physical ticket. You're selling like the boarding pass. You're selling the drive to the airport. You're selling having to wait in the TSA line. You're selling having to wait and to load the plane. That's what you're selling when you're selling the features, as opposed to just selling like the destination. People want the destination. They don't want all of the features that you have to add. All right. And so this is why inside of the Business by Belief Accelerator, you'll master story selling messaging with my CPR formula. So your words are sharp, they're magnetic and simple. And clients, they actually lean in instead of tuning out. Right? Like, I wanted to get away from my son. Like, I love my son, but I wanted to get away from him. I was suffocated. And I was suffocating. Like, I was literally like, okay, this is too much. I was getting a headache, literally getting a headache. And that's exactly what you're doing to your clients. You're putting too much, you're adding too much, you're talking about the features, and you're not utilizing story selling messaging, right? And this is what I'm doing right now in this live, right? I'm literally story selling. I'm telling you a story. There's an overt meaning and a covert meaning. I'm giving you, and I'm teaching all of this to you as I'm doing it, because this is what I teach inside of the Business by Belief Accelerator. You can literally take a story and sell it and paint the picture for your own offer. You can do it with anything in life. I'm taking a simple example about my son overwhelming me with his cologne and flipping it on you and teaching you how your offer is now overwhelming your clients. And so there's an overt and a covert meaning. And this is the beautiful thing about story selling and my CPR framework, my CPR formula. All right. And so that is the L. Okay. Less is more. We're going to move on to the E. And so the E, to get really clear, to have a clear offer that really attracts your clients, is to understand that ease attracts energy. Ease attracts energy. If you dread delivering it, they'll dread buying it. No one wants to buy an offer that you are dreading selling. Like, they can feel that energy. All right. And so when you show up with a sense of ease, when you show up with just that conviction, that clarity, that love for your offer, that joy to really sell, this is what's going to actually allow your clients to attract to you. This is what's going to attract your premium clients. So you right now, you avoid promoting your own program. And so you start scrolling instead of selling. You're scrolling on social media, and you're not really loving your offer, because deep down, you know that it's misaligned. You know that it's too heavy. It feels it feels like so much pressure to deliver it. And so you're just like subconsciously, you're like, oh, I don't even want to sell. And so you end up scrolling and then you wonder why you're not seeing any clients. You're not seeing the results you want to see in your business to go full time in your coaching career. And so inside of the Business by Belief Accelerator, you're going to simplify your sales funnel. All right. Building a system that brings in aligned clients even while you rest. And so you're going to love your framework. You're going to love your offer. You're going to love showing up and delivering your marketing message because it's going to be so much fun. You're going to be able to pull from stories. You'll never run out of content. And with my CPR formula. And then you're going to set up a sales system, a sales funnel that just has clients seamlessly showing up for you, has clients like you're cooking dinner and you're getting applications. All right. You're out walking in the park with your kids and applications are coming in, sales are rolling in. And this is what we're going to set up. This is how I help my clients inside of the Business by Belief Accelerator. And when you jump in, this is exactly what you're going to be able to set up for your business as well. I'm telling you, it is super powerful. And so the E is ease attracts energy. You want to make sure that you are operating from a sense of ease and not overcomplicating it. Do not overcomplicate the process for yourself because you're going to do the same for your clients and you're going to end up repelling. All right. And so now we're going to jump into the A on how to create a clear offer that your clients are obsessed with. You're going to create an offer that feels clear for yourself and for your clients. And so the A is anchor in authority. Authority comes from clarity, not quantity. So you adding on more is just causing more confusion for yourself and for your clients. So you slightly doubt your expertise. This is what's happening. You're kind of doubting a little bit inside if you you can deliver, but there's a little bit of doubt there. There's that double-mindedness. So you pile on extras, all these extras to prove that your program is worth the price. But your clients pick up on your doubt and they delay buying. They can sense your doubt. So even with the words you're speaking, if you truly don't believe, this is why my offer is called Business by Belief, because if you don't fully, wholeheartedly believe fully in your offer, in your messaging, in your sales process, if you don't fully believe in it, you're not going to show up. It really requires a deep sense of belief. And so when you have that inner doubt, when you're speaking, your doubt is screaming louder than anything that your words can possibly be saying. Like you're saying, you're speaking, but your doubt, like your audience can feel that doubt. They can feel that hesitation. They can smell it. They can smell it. All right. And so inside of Business by Belief, you're going to create your signature framework. Like I said, that's your anchor. That is your anchor. You'll stand as the obvious authority. Okay, selling with confidence instead of convincing. You don't have to convince anyone. You don't have to add on a bunch of extras to make it feel as if your offer is worth it. When you come into Business by Belief Accelerator, I'm going to teach you how to actually paint the picture. So you're selling the destination, you're selling the transformation. You're not selling the trip, right? You're selling Jamaica. You're not selling all the other things, all the other features and all that. So you're not convincing anyone to join in. You're not chasing any clients. You're just stating what you do, how you help them to get to the goal they want. You're already there. They want you to help them over that bridge to get from the hell that they're living in into the heaven that they want to be in. Right. And so you're just creating that trail for them. You're just creating the bridge to get them from point A to point B. And you want to do it in a seamless way. You want to do it with ease. You don't want the process to be heavy for yourself or for your clients. All right. And so with your signature framework, this is what you're going to anchor to. And this anchor is going to be your authority. You're going to anchor into authority with your framework. All right. It brings you clarity and it brings your clients clarity. And then lastly, you want to jump into the R, which is to regulate and reprogram. When your beliefs are anchored in God's truth, right? When your beliefs are anchored in God's truth and your identity, your divine identity, who God has called you to be, a leader, a thought leader, a business leader, an entrepreneur, like full-time, like God has called you to coaching. And so when you anchor into God's truth and your identity as a child of God, your body feels safe, right? And when your body feels safe, that's when your sales will flow. But it all starts with your belief. It all starts, everything is belief. 95% of your success, 95% of your results, 95% of your actions, it's all stemming from your subconscious beliefs. And this is why we do the work inside of the Business by Belief Accelerator. You're going to learn how to, you're going to learn nervous system regulation tools and how to uproot subconscious belief blocks that are sabotaging you that you're not even aware of. That's the thing about it. Like, you're not even aware that you're doing it. And so I have this trained eye, not just as a nurse. I, been able to take my nursing skills over into business coaching. And so I can identify like that when you're self-sabotaging. I can identify when you're in fight mode. I can identify when your nervous system is in freeze mode and you're doing all the things, right? You're doing all the things, everything else, but besides the needle movers in your business. And so I can spot it because not only have I been there, I've seen my clients do it. And the moment that I spot it and call it out, they're like, oh, I didn't realize I was doing it. You're not even going to realize it. Your body's trying to keep you safe. And so this is why you need someone to come alongside you to show you your blind spots and to show you what you're like, how you're maneuvering. Because this is what's going to self-sabotage your business. You're trying to build your business consciously, but subconsciously you're sabotaging it. And so once you understand and learn how to regulate your nervous system and uproot subconscious belief blocks, you begin to show up steady, rooted, and ready to receive all of what God has for you. So you no longer spiral before posting, no longer second guess. You're no longer sweating, palm sweating, heart racing, and second guessing everything. And then, when your nervous system is dysregulated, it's like you're afraid to show up. And so you ghost your audience for weeks. And so inside of the Business by Belief Accelerator, I'm telling you, I got you. You're going to learn to regulate your nervous system and really uproot any belief blocks that are hindering your progress. Okay. Inside of the Business by Belief Accelerator, I help you to transition into coaching full time without chasing clients, fighting the algorithm, self-sabotaging, or sacrificing time with your family. You don't need to do any of that. All right. And so I want to encourage you to definitely apply for the Business by Belief Accelerator. The link is in the description. So go ahead and apply. But that is ultimately the real reason your clients aren't buying your coaching. And that is how you resolve that. Okay. Your offer should feel clear. Okay. It should feel clear. It should have conviction, not clutter. You have to understand that less is more. Okay. Less is more. Ease attracts energy. Anchor in authority and regulates and reprogram. All right. So that's what I have for you inside of this episode of the Daily Dose. And I pray that it's been a blessing to you. I look forward to seeing your application inside of Business by Belief Accelerator. I'm telling you, this is what you need to really grow your business to consistent 10K plus months so you can transition into coaching full time. Be present with your family. You don't have to chase clients. You do not have to continue to self-sabotage, right? You don't have to overstuff your offer. You can love your offer, love your messaging, feel comfortable and confident showing up with visibility, opening up to receive. There's so many money blocks that you have to overcome. I'm telling you, this is all we do inside of the Business by Belief Accelerator. So not only are you getting the blueprint to really grow and scale your business, your offer, your marketing, and your sales, you're also getting the belief, the foundation. Because if your foundation is rocky, when you're building your business, that blueprint, everything is just going to fall and crumble down if it's not being built on solid belief systems. Okay. Your business will only grow to in alignment with your belief systems and your body's safety. All right. And so I love you. I'll see you in the next live. But before I go, I'm going to tell you, just as God told me, put one foot in front of the other, step out on faith, and trust God for the next step. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.